Good morning, Nigeria. Welcome to Ways Breakfast, the table where we get to the heart of what matters. In our daily lives, we rely on the simplest things, the food we eat, the water we drink. But what happens when those life-giving sources become a hidden danger? Yet, here we are, new global statistics show a staggering 50% increase in cholera deaths in just 1 year, with over 6,000 people dying from a disease that is both preventable and treatable. Right here in Nigeria, the NCDC reported a sharp 75% rise in infections early in 2025, and Bauchi State alone has tragically lost 58 lives. We are reminded that some of the greatest threats are often the most basic. Today, we are talking about more than just a disease. We are talking about our communal vulnerability and how to ensure a healthy environment. My name is Goodness Ide, and joining me to serve today's conversation hot is Triumph Akinboye with the most beautiful smile in the house. Together, we'll pull back the layers on this issue and ask, why is cholera still a life-threatening reality for so many? Let's dive in. Good morning, Triumph.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
I mean, when you said the most beautiful smile, I was wondering that really, are you talking to me? Are you talking about me? But well, I mean, I can't.
You have the most beautiful smile there.
Good morning. How are you doing? Yes, I'm doing very well.
So you've lost me for about 2 days now.
Yes, and I miss seeing you, but you said you were not feeling good. How are you doing now?
I'm doing well.
Yesterday was a whole lot in Lagos State. Especially, you know, on this part of the island, or the whole island
I think
in
I
general.
saw the video. There was a lot
Videos,
of water
flood, you know, everywhere was flooded. The car that I was in yesterday, I literally had to raise my leg and then bend it in a kind of way so that I don't, because inside the car, I mean, this is not a private vehicle now. And then the rain, the whole flood entered the car already. So I had to raise my leg. So it was a whole lot. And then after the rain, here comes the traffic. I mean, I think people said, some people
Lagos,
reported that
every time, whenever there is a heavy downfall, there's always a traffic. But I
was
remember,
really
the
serious.
state where I was, there was really no rain. So.
It was really serious. And the rain started this morning already. And then I'm wondering what's going on.
All right. So away from that, I want to ask you something quickly. So now, in a household, right, what are the basic things you think we should have in a household?
Food.
Okay.
Things for people to sit on, to sleep.
Okay. Now let's move to cleaning agent.
Cleaning agent. Yeah. Soap.
Okay.
You have soap, maybe
so what do
either
we use
detergent.
Soap
to wash.
All right.
What are you asking?
Going to see further some people can tell us some cleaning agents you can find in your household that is basic, because we actually need that. So, all right, viewers, let's go on a short break to reflect on a significant event in history. And when we come back, we'll look through the papers from today. Stay tuned. Welcome back. What are your thoughts on these historical milestones? I would love to hear your insight and perspectives on our comment section. And remember, our phone lines are open. Please call us on 0702 500 7749 or 0701 4242 420. And if you're yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Official Upgrade TV, click the subscribe button now, like and share the link. Tune in to channel 145 on your GoTV and don't miss this. And of course, we're moving straight to the headlines across our newspaper, and let's take a look at what making the news around the globe and even in Nigeria. And we're going to be scanning through the pages of The Guardian and The Punch this morning, where I will start with my beautiful co-host, Triumph, to lead us with the Punch newspaper.
You already called me beautiful, so let me take everyone to a very beautiful destination.
Okay.
All right, so let us check through the pages of The Punch News, the front page. And we have quite an interesting story. I mean, for the whole week, they've been giving us, there have been more of advertisement on the front pages. But seeing the front page of the newspapers this morning, I think they are done with most of the advertisements that they wanted to do. So to the story that we have...
Are you referring to the Northerners?
No, not just the Northerners. Like, we had different advertisement from one brand, from one company to the other. So to a story we have on page 22 of the Punch News, 8.4 trillion naira oil theft drains economy, fuels investors' doubt. Writers to this story, experts fault lack of arrest, prosecutions in 4 years, I-0 oil theft. Another writer, regulator hails the lowest losses in 16 years amid reservations by analysts. This is a story you would find in page 22 of the Punch News. And above that, you find 20 billion naira library fundraiser, not for 2027. This is coming from Remi Tinubu, and you'll find the story in page 29 of the Punch newspaper. And to another story, you would find Natasha resumes at Senate, calls Akpabio dictator. I don't even want to start with Natasha's story this morning, please. And then another one here says 411% revenue rise won't stop federal government borrowing. This is coming from the Federal Internal Revenue Service.
Yes.
And I am going to talk briefly about that too. CBN lowers interest rates. OPS demands credit relief. This is a story you would find in page 21 in the Punch News. And I am going to talk about this pictorial representation that we have here because I actually saw it online before seeing it here. So I am going to talk about it now. If you look at this, I think the person that we are all familiar with here is the FCT minister, that's Nyesom Wike. But to the left, the daughter of the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Jasmine, his son, Jordan, and then his wife, the appeal court judge, Justice Eberechi, Suzette. This is during Jordan's call to bar ceremony in Abuja. So you know that presently the call to bar is going on. Some had theirs yesterday, some are doing theirs today. And this is also me saying congratulations to everyone who did their call to bar, who have been called to bar. Now we have lots of baristas that have been rolled out. And it is such an interesting one. It's a great feat because for some of them, they've been in this for a very long time now. They've been trying to pursue this degree, this call to bar for years now, maybe.
And after going through school for 5 years, finishing.
They go for service, then they go to law school.
Some of them even had to go to either a law school before service.
Anyhow, I mean, I have a friend I'm currently celebrating with this morning, or today rather. So it's quite an interesting one. So congratulations to them. However, by the time they took this pictorial image on the economy, fuels investors' doubt. Now, they are coming out to say that Nigeria lost crude oil valued at a staggering 8.41 trillion naira to theft and metering deficiencies between 2021 and July 2025, according to the latest data from, NUPRC. Now, what they are saying is that the regulator celebrated, recent progress in reducing daily losses to their lowest level in nearly 16 years. However, they are warning that the economic toll remains devastating. According to the analysis, they are coming out to show us that they have lost 37.6 billion barrels of crude. In 2021, we have 20.9 million, 2022, 4.3 million, 2023, 4.1 million barrels in 2024, and then 2.4 million barrels between January and July 2025. Unfortunately, we see that these things are actually happening with us. I mean, it's in our country. And it is quite unfortunate that we have to be lagging, and then we have to be talking about the fact that, okay, there is the cases of oil theft every time. Even though I'm not going to say that maybe it is right or it is okay for people to be trying to, you know, steal our oil. But I think that those people really need to be brought to book. There is so much, aside, you know, the oil theft, there is one thing that is very common, you know, in Nigeria. For example, if we always have incident reports of maybe when an accident happens and is happening with all these tankers loading fuel to wherever destination, and then there's an accident or there's spillage. I mean, whenever those accidents happen, and then you see lots of people trying to tap oil, and then in the process, maybe the thing just exploded all of a sudden, and then this has also led to loss of lives and properties. So I am going to hold on to that part beyond these figures these staggering figures that they're talking about, is as regards the fact that Nigerians really need to be educated. There's something my mom used to say. I think this is the second time I'll be saying it on this program. She will say it in Yoruba. That means, you know, I'm trying in the bid of making ends meet. May I not meet something that will take away my life? Yeah. So something like that. Because why are you having to, because of oil, maybe 125 liter of oil that you're going to get to risk your life? So it's a whole lot of things that Nigerians really need to adjust their mindsets to, right? And then another one that is, of course, of interest to me is the second one that came out to tell us that 411% rise in revenue won't stop the federal government from borrowing. Now we've had it back and forth. I mean, in this period, maybe in the past 1 month, we've had a whole lot of dragging with the federal government, and then with our president Bola Ahmed Tinubu coming to say that, okay, I am going to be borrowing, I am not going to be borrowing, and then after a while, they are going to tell us that there is so much that is happening to the country. There is just so much back and forth. Now, FIRS is coming to say that the fact that we are saying that there is rise in revenue is still not going to stop them from borrowing. So I think if I want to support the federal government this morning, I would say something like, well, even the people that are rich, you know, they borrow. But I'm not yet to even pad whatever it is that they are doing. So those are, you know, some of the interesting stuff.
I'll also take that story, follow up from what you said, but that story is also on the Guardian newspaper. But before going that, let me just take some few headlines. Above the masthead on the Guardian newspaper says that Tinubu's handling of INEC transition will define Nigeria's democracy, says Yaga. And beside that, we have defamation case adjourned as Senate Natasha reach on common truths. Alongside the story you just concluded with, FIRS clarifies borrowing plan, confirms new tax regime from January. That's the reason, page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. As the Guardian leads this morning with wider cracks in world order amid warnings on aid cuts and unions feature. Beside that, we have an health story that says high blood pressure puts 1.4 billion people at risk, says and warned by the World Health Organization. Below, we have Pengasan, Nupeng, warned federal government against stealing JV stakes. Also, we have concerns in Lagos APC as 4 elected female officials die in 2 months. That's a very sad story. Alongside, we have relief for businesses as CBN eases 4-year tighten cuts interest rates to 27%. So, beside the Lagos story, we have Tinubu raises 20.4 billion naira for National Library, has birthday anniversary. So, that's just the story I'm going to be taking. We have one more story there concerning Benue, and we have one of the officials, the Federal Capital Minister, with the appeal court to justice. We have a pictorial view of them on the Guardian newspaper. So heading straight to the story concerning the FIRS, they've come out to say that as well, that defending the federal government's borrowing strategy, that it is a good one, insisting that the debt remains a legitimate tool for growth. So it is necessary that for a country to grow, there needs to be a borrowing technique. And that's what they said.
I'm not going to take that you just said, because if we have to stand behind the mindset that we always have to borrow before we have to make things happen. I mean, I understand that countries borrow. Countries really need to survive. In fact, when it comes to, the wealthiest people in the world, they have, they need to borrow. When it comes to even in the world, in the country, when you see people running great business, sometimes they need to borrow some, large amounts of money so that they can do whatever it is that they want to do and then get the profits that is coming from maybe that particular business and all of that. But sometimes when federal government tells us that they want to borrow, they borrow a huge amount. And then you try to look at what the money that they borrowed is for, but you can't even see it. There's already a problem of accountability that has been dealing with us and battling with us. So, me, I don't support them.
What FIRS is saying that borrowing is necessary. Why? For instance, they gave an instance of a bank, right, lending out a particular amount, and in return, you get to pay an interest rate. So, for them, those interests gathered on that money lent out are the money they used to pay their staff salaries. So that's why they said that it's necessary for growth in the country. However, they said even infrastructure financing, not a sign of crisis. He announced that the personal income tax, PIT, and company income tax, CIT reforms will take effect from January. We've been hearing a lot of stories about tax, different forms of tax that will take place come 2026. And yeah, we also have manufacturers that have come out to express their disappointment over the imminent introduction of a tax stamp system for their goods. And speaking on the government's fiscal strategy while fielding questions from the State House correspondent, that was yesterday, the FIRS chairman, Zacchaeus Adedeji, said the administration of President Bola Tinubu ended the practice of ways and means financing through the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, converting the facility into a structured federal loan. I won't want to dwell so much on that, but that's their own point of view, saying that for a country to grow economically, there needs to be this borrowing and lending system. I mean, even I think in the olden days, it also took effect, but not in terms of money. Like, I give you Gary, you give me probably granules, that kind of stuff, like trade and barter. So moving away to the story, looking at this the lead story on the Guardian newspaper that says UN and 80 wider cracks in world order amid warnings on aid cuts unions feature. The UN has said, where we have some standing point during their meeting, said the union struggles to remain relevant as Guterres decries disruptions and sufferings. Another point discussed there was, for every dollar spent on peace, what spends $750 on weapons. And along we have charter as strong as member state commitment. UNGA president wants. Trump makes immigration central, vows jail for illegal entrant. Then there's one particular news I even saw concerning Trump saying that regarding Nigeria, that anybody involved in corrupt practices will be denied visa to the US. Well, so that's
quite
I'm wondering
interesting.
how he's going to get full details concerning that. I'm moving away from there. Let's